Is this thing on? Just kidding, I know it's on. Hi guys, it's Lou again. Welcome to A Delusional View. Today we have Abby, aka Astro Fairy.
Hello, welcome to Delusional Review with the Astro Fairy.
Very excited. Abby's one of my oldest friends.
Way back.
I turned 26 in a couple months, and you're...
I just turned 24.
Yeah. Met when I think I was 11?
It was like, I was in first grade, so you were in second grade.
No, I think you were in fourth grade, and I was in fifth grade.
Okay, yeah, no, you're right. But it was by the bus stop, the bullies, right?
Yeah, the bullies at the bus stop, dude.
Yep, and I was on my bike, and like I fell down, and I started crying. I was like, oh my god,
and I saw her from outside. Like I saw her from inside. I saw her outside my window from inside.
Kids are so mean, though. Like
fucking
the kids we lived by too. Like they would crack eggs on your head and shit. Do you remember that? Fucking.
I never had to deal with that, but my brother did get bullied a lot because he had cleft palate lip. So
I was hella bullied, but fuck them high school kids and middle school kids and elementary school kids, because now I'm a DJ and
they're not shit.
Well, hopefully they become shit and heal and learn that being mean was wrong, and if they ever see anybody else bully, then get their ass, because that's not cool to be mean.
It really isn't. It's traumatizing, bro. It changes people for life. I still think I'm ugly. I still be thinking I'm ugly sometimes because of bullies.
And I mean, society too in a whole. It's like if you're not this way or that way, you know, it's like nobody wants you. It makes you feel worthless type deal.
Yeah.
But then it's like fucked up because when you get bullied or you fall into society too much, even if you get skinnier, you get a certain weight, you still think you're not enough. Like the number keeps going down and down, and then it just becomes unhealthy, and then you're fucking dying.
Yeah, and that's a lot of bullying is one of the sole reasons that suicide happens.
Facts. Bullying and like fucking misunderstanding someone and making them feel like shit over something that they're going through. Like people need understanding and love.
Yeah.
Even fucking murderers, like they wouldn't murder people if somebody would fucking understand them and not make them so fucking angry, right?
Yeah, like if they had gotten help like they needed to growing up. Sorry, I'm trying to break this hairpin so I can stop the blunt. If they had gotten help like they needed to growing up, then they wouldn't have murdered people, maybe. I don't know if that's an accurate statement. What I also wanted to talk about today with Abby was homelessness and addiction and overdose. Today we're gonna get heavy deep in that shit. A huge reason I started this podcast, I thought of this concept a couple years ago. I lost two friends to death at a young age, one to overdose and one to suicide. And I wanted to create a space where people could come together and be seen, be heard, be understood, and feel like they're not being judged by the experiences that they had. And I know Abby knows firsthand losing people at a young age and trying to get through that grief.
Yeah, it's a very real and hard thing. You know, it's something I'm still dealing with every day, you know, and that happened over 2 years ago, and I lost, you know, my person to a fentanyl overdose, and, you know, it wasn't even supposed to be fentanyl. It's like, you know, this person thought they were taking, you know, Xanax, and then next thing you know, like, I get a call and they're gone. So it's like, it runs so much more deeper too than just like the addicts and, you know, the homelessness that we do see. You know, that's just all
surface level,
and like people aren't just homeless because they're on drugs. Like most people don't even use drugs until they enter into homelessness, and
homelessness only magnifies those personal issues, and drugs become an escape art for these people.
Like when you have to save up, you know, upward of $2,000 just to get into a place, you know, deposit first month's, you know, whatever it is, furniture, more than $2,000, and then it's like $20 for, you know, a dime bag to feel good while you're cold in the streets. You're probably gonna fucking pick the the dime bag over the fucking.
I know, yeah, literally.
I mean, it's hard, you know. You can't really judge people till you've been in that situation. You know, I've personally never lived on the streets where I've been sleeping outside or on the tent, but I lived in my car when I was going through my, you know, phase of active addiction, and I was in, you know, a different state. I didn't know where I was, and it was scary, and like I can't imagine, you know, the level of not having a car. So I really just try to understand, you know, that if I can't understand, you know, I should feel blessed and lucky, but try to understand and show these people support and sympathy, because that's what they need. You know, like you can't go up to you don't kick a dog when it's down type deal, right? So it's like, it's the same thing with people, and everyone just looks at them and it's like all this stigma, like, oh, they're drug addicts, they ruin our streets and they litter everywhere. And it's like, I mean, they're a little pissed off because a lot of these people used to fucking have jobs and be brilliant in homes, and shit hit the fan so quickly, and it's a systematic thing, a societal thing, and that's what people don't understand, especially with people with money, because money fixes everything for them.
I know, and what they don't understand is that, like, not everybody has that opportunity. And some people with money, they were born into a lifestyle where they were always able to have the things that they needed. I'm not saying everybody who's successful is like that. We're not those people. We're not those people where I'm not saying we were gifted the worst lives, but we didn't have the same opportunities. We were not granted the same opportunities as everyone else growing up. Our parents did not come loaded. They could not afford to full ride us through college. I didn't even go to college.
I mean, I went to community college and I didn't even fucking finish a whole year because I have such bad just like ADHD, and like my learning style, it's so different. Like I was, you know, in all those special classes like in high school, just because I had such bad anxiety, it affected my ability to learn. So like, you know, growing up, it was harder for me, so I didn't finish college even a semester. You know, I had to take the remedial math class and couldn't even get past that. So I realized college wasn't for me. Didn't really know what the fuck my calling was. Ended up going into active addiction, and you know, the whole life story there. But then eventually, like, you know, I moved from North Carolina to Colorado. I found peer work, and then fucking tapped into my inner power of music and realized, holy shit, I'm a badass DJ fucking Astro Fairy, and I also have a fucking great banging singing voice. Like, let's do the 2 and 2 together, use my femininity, and fuck this shit up, because pain into power, right?
This is true, pain into power. And music, I feel like, really gives people a voice that they need, especially when they're in a place where, like, that's the only thing that really speaks and calls to them. And it's the only thing they feel like they can connect with other people through music, you know?
And it's so universal. It's like, it's not even just pain. Like, pain's a big part of it, you know, for me especially, because when I'm in a lot of pain, you know, music is my outlet. But I think too, it's like, you know, it's joyous, you know, like when you're at a wedding, you know, you want to hear a happy, upbeat song to all dance to and celebrate with the, you know, the new bride and groom.
Be the DJ at my wedding. Yeah, DJ Astro Fairy. I'm gonna be plugging her shit. No, for real. Get on there. Follow her. Follow my girl.
But you know, it's just like happy, you're sad, you know, you meet somebody you love. It's like, you know, those songs about this person who gives you this rush, or you know, you go through a really painful event in your life, and it's just like turning this pain into power. And sometimes it's like this darkened kind of like energy. Like, you know, you have songs, some of like Witch by Rez, you know, it's like this feminine energy, but it's also like this darkness. But it's like we're supposed to have this balance of the light and the dark, and you know, music seems to capture that a lot for me. So that's just where I've really found my purpose and my passion. And like, everyone's always told me, like, you know, you're too emotional. It's like, well, fuck you, maybe I am, but I'll put that shit into music, and then what's you gonna say? You're gonna vibe with it. How about that?
That's crazy. Too emotional? I don't believe there's such word. I think it's passion. I think it's literal passion. Like,
I don't think you can't be too emotional. I think they're just
we're human beings.
You're not emotional enough. Is what
robots.
It is. You know,
we're
it's
robots.
Like everyone's turning off their feeling center. That's what it is. There's not enough feeling. You know, you're not feeling at all. Like, I think it's better to feel too much than to not feel at all. Because, like, at least you're having the awareness of your
that's
feelings.
why I used drugs, because I didn't want to feel it all. You know? Everything was too much. I needed to quiet the noise. Xanax was definitely my choice. And people still know me as that person that was a stripper and did Xanax and was drinking all the time and was...
But I mean, as long as you don't know yourself as that person anymore, that's all that really matters, I think.
Well, can you believe it's just been... I'm hitting 5 years sober off of Xanax on October 28th.
That's really good. That's really, really fucking good. I think I've been clean off of opioids for 3 years now.
I think it's coming me. And let's clap for that.
Yeah, sobriety is important.
Sobriety is so fucking hard.
I mean, but something else too to talk about, like in today's age, too, is like EDM. You know, like there's still drugs in the EDM community. You know, and people aren't. I feel like a lot of the teenagers too, especially, like they aren't informed. You know, so people will go do ketamine and they'll drink and get fucked up and have the worst time. Of their life. Yeah, and have the worst time of their life.
Choke on their own vomit. Yep.
Or they'll do Molly every weekend, and I'm sorry, but you should not be doing Molly every weekend. You should.
We understand. You love rolling. You love it. You love fucking on Molly.
Like, life feels good. The music sounds good.
But guess what? Your brain's going to be damaged for the rest of your life.
And if you keep doing it, the music's not going to feel good. It's not gonna sound good. It's not gonna feel good. After a while, you're gonna get desensitized, and then when you're not on Molly, things that are supposed to give you pleasure they're not. You're just gonna constantly be searching for the next thing, and it's like, don't do that to yourself. You know, like, if anything, you know, give yourself that treat every once in a while. You know, alter your brain chemistry if you want in a safe way, but don't do it constantly to where you're in the long run, you know, adjusting your experience, and it's not ever going to be the same, because what's the fun in that?
Same thing with acid. I've always told people I recommend everybody try psychedelics, acid, shrooms. I don't really recommend Molly anymore. Just because you don't know what you're getting, dude. Even if you test it and you think it's pure, you don't fucking know what's really made. You don't know what's in that shit,
and it's
dude.
like, all Molly has a little bit of, like, some sort of speed or stimulant. It's like, what speed or stimulant?
It's only, like, 1 or 2 components away from methamphetamine. And like, after a while you start to feel like a freaking tweaker, and I don't like to use that word. I feel like it's discriminatory, but like, the reason that it's used is because people will make like movements, and that's how you feel on Molly. You're like literally like rolling and you're not even functional. And I've just seen so many people go down that route where they rave and all they do is rave because it's drugs. They can't even listen to the music without the drugs, and that's the problem.
And like, I feel like that's something that needs to be talked about more in the scene. Is like, if you couldn't listen to the music sober, then like, don't even listen to music at all. Like, I DJ and I listen to the music because I love the music. You know, to me, it's about the beats. You know, the feelings in the song and the music and the rhythm. You know, my soul can hear things and feel things that only music can provide for me. And that's actually scientifically proven, that there are certain beats connected to our body, the DNA of our body. So, you know, there's certain things that are going to heal me, and I don't need drugs to do it. Yeah, drugs can make it more fun. I've tripped sack and played a fucking DJ set in the woods before. But, like, would I do that every fucking time? Fuck no. Like, it's something that you give, you know, yourself. It's a gift. Take care of your body, but like, also do that shit in moderation. That's what drugs are. You know, they are tools, and when we stop using them in moderation, they become addiction, they become problematic, and that's when we lose control and they gain control over us. So like, in retrospect, my thing is like, no drug is bad until you give it the control to be. So it's like, even like fentanyl, I personally think, you know, only should be used, you know, in a medical setting. You know, you're going through surgery or you just got shot. Yeah, fuck yeah. Load them up. It's safe. You know what you're doing. But should you go be using that shit at home with your homies rapping and having a purple drink in your cup? Fuck no. But, you know, there are people who can do different drugs, like fucking CEOs do cocaine and get their shit done. Who gives a fuck? They're not hurting anybody, and ultimately they're supplying the fucking dealer, who's probably a fucking, either a middleman or someone who needs to make the dough anyway, and the system's fucked. So do drugs, just do them safely, you know?
That's good advice.
And test your shit.
Test
and
your shit. I was about to fucking say that.
Always use Narcan. Like, let me tell you, the last month I have been to the club, I have Narcan 3
Dude,
people.
we almost watched a woman die. She got laced, dude. She was already drunk. Pretty sure someone gave her a bump of fucking K, and that shit had PCP or something in it, I swear to God.
And I was the only person with Narcan. And if I didn't have Narcan, I don't even know what.
How many did you have to give her?
I gave her one, but like the cops ran up in there and
had to give her like 2 or 3 more, right?
And the girl who was with her didn't even know her, and she was just completely traumatized.
I followed that girl on Instagram, and that situation definitely traumatized her. That woman's been through a lot. God bless you, girl. God bless you. If you ever watch this, God be with you. The universe be with you. You deserve peace. I see your story all the time, and I swipe up and I say stuff, and she's got a surgery coming up, so wishing the best, wishing healing for you, Pookie. But yeah, that's a very traumatizing night. I literally couldn't even stay at the show anymore. I left after that because she almost died in front of us.
I mean, I stayed and made sure she was okay,
church
but
in Denver.
You know, it gets fucked up too because it's like.
Well, I left after she was able to walk.
There's times where like I'm desensitized to it and I kind of let it go, but then there's times where it really hits me, and like I think when it really hits me is when it's like a really bad overdose. Like that overdose, you know, was pretty. It was bad, but there was one before that, and it really fucked me up because we didn't have any Narcan. We were away from my car. We were outside of the nightclub actually, and you know, I had no Narcan and had to basically start giving the guy mouth to mouth. And the only thing I felt back was just his breath kicking back. And, you know, dude's running down. He's like, what's going on? He runs to the X bar, grabs his Narcan, runs back. The dude is sweating. I immediately administer it, and, you know, he's finally coming to. But it's like, that right there in itself is like this whole traumatic experience. So it's not even about just the person going through the overdose. They're going to be traumatized too because they don't realize what's going on. And I can say that in full knowledge because I have overdosed myself. And so it's just like, there's 2 different traumas, and both of them deserve, you know, support around it. But we also need to go to the root cause. What's happening that's making these traumas? And it's the drugs. It's bad drugs. If you're not testing your shit, if you're not being careful, if you're not loving people who use drugs, these are the consequences.
I mean, people are going to do drugs anyway. The more that you say, don't do drugs, it's going to want to make them do more. So you have to provide a safe space to be like, look, I know you're going to do drugs. Please use drugs safely. I've dealt with way too many situations in my life where they didn't even realize that they were going way too fucking hard, and then kick back in the face later. They have a psychosis, a mental breakdown, they almost die, mental hospital, crazy fucking shit. And it's just sad to see, like,
or a jail cell.
The drug epidemic for our generation is worse than it has been since drugs became a thing. Like, it's so bad. It's so bad. Fuck fentanyl. 110%. One of my childhood friends passed away with fentanyl overdose after he bought some pills to do after I spent the entire day with him. And I actually just went to court to testify and provide my witness statement of the day that we spent together, to make sure that man gets locked up. I don't really know what the aftermath of that was. But it's real fucking shit. I've known that guy since I was 13 years old, and he died the same day, the last day that I fucking saw him. And it's real fucking shit, dude. It's real fucked up. If you
sell fentanyl too, like, you gotta ask yourself, are you okay with killing people? Because essentially,
you're taking lives.
You are taking lives. You are murdering people. You maybe not, you have the intention to sell to kill them, but you know in your heart that what you are selling could kill somebody. You are guilty, and why are you doing it? And reflect on that. And if that's who you want to be,
just know what you signed up for.
Karma is real. That's all I'm gonna say. Is like, you can't go around doing shitty things your whole entire life, because like the new age of like these light beings are coming, and like we're fucking around. We're finding out. We're seeing you, and like we're not gonna fucking put up with that. So just like keep trying this evil bullshit, but karma's coming, because like karma don't play. And that's all I'm gonna say.
R.I.P. Mac. He also died of a fentanyl overdose.
Little P. Fucking Dylan. You know, he was my biggest fucking person in my life. You know, and we went through active addiction together. We weren't perfect, but He was such a good person, such a beautiful person, but you know, the mad fucking disease of addiction, like it just fucking, he wasn't himself at the end.
It takes over you. My mom is an addict. She's still an active addiction mom. If you're watching this, just know that I love you and do not hate me, because she does not like when I disclose her personal information. My mom has been an addict off and on for the last 10 years of my life. Losing her kids really set her off, and not being able to see us is really ultimately what tipped her to that point. Losing her children and not being able to be a mother is really what sent her there. And she didn't really start using until after I was 14, 15 years old. I've seen her in peak addiction. I've lived with her, and I've literally had to kick someone out for stealing my shit and using heroin spoons and leaving them around for my cats to play with. And addiction overruns your life. That my mom wanted to give me a home, a place to live, and she couldn't, because she couldn't shake these people that she was associated with who were still using, and she was still secretly using. She's currently using right now, unfortunately. But it's something that I have to deal with every day, but I try to see the other side of it, and I try not to blame the person, because there is something inside of them that needs fulfilled in that way to make them do those things. And I see why my mom does what she does. I've been in a relationship with an alcoholic. I've seen why he drinks and why he did what he did and why he behaved the way that he did. And not everybody can see it from that perspective, and try not to take it personally, because it is very painful for me to talk about. I'm actually surprised I'm not crying right now. I think it's because I'm high. But it's fucked up. Drugs really, they ruin lives, they rip apart families, and if you're willing to go down that slippery slope, especially if you're partaking in distributing those substances that are taking the lives of others, there's a special place.
It's interesting though, like hearing, you know, Lou say that though, like from her perspective, because like as someone who's been an addict, you know, it's like we wish people would understand. It's nice, you know, hearing that, you know, someone can understand and put it in that retrospect. What is that?
Astro Fairy.
Astro Fairy. That's probably what I was thinking about. But
the astrospect.
Yeah, the astrospect.
Abby's perspective is the astrospect. Okay.
Fags. No. But just like, you know, understand that there's such a deeper story than just using, you know, it's like you said, it's pain. There's something inside of them, and like
it's breaking.
You know, that brings me back to, you know, what we, you know, originally kind of brought up is like homelessness. Is like me and Lou, you know, like we also used to work at a micro community, a emergency homeless shelter for those experiencing homelessness.
And I want to preface this before we say anything negative. We believe in what they're doing for people. We appreciate what they do.
And we're not going to name names, you know.
We're not going to go into detail, but I will say, as someone who genuinely got into the field to start helping and was thinking of making it a career, I don't want to do it anymore. Because you can't promise to help people and promise to do all these things and tell these people you're going to do it and not do it. You cannot promise you're going to give them the resources they need to get mental help. You can't promise that you're going to send them to detox and do all this other stuff that you're not actually going to do for them. You can't promise them, hey, you have this housing voucher, and then wait months and months and months for them to actually have a home. You can't kick them out of a community for no viable reason. I mean, racism could be one. If you're homophobic, it could be another reason, right? I'm pretty sure you got strikes if you were rude to people, if you got into...
apparently they can now just kick you out to kick you out, but...
I quit working there in December of this last year, because that's where I met my last partner. And it just wasn't the place for me anymore. I was having breakdowns almost every day. Like, I was overloaded. We were understaffed. I felt like...
And I'm sure, like, you know, if anybody from that company were to watch this, they you know, they would know exactly, you know, who we're talking about, that we're talking about them. But, you know, legally, you know, we have right to freedom of speech. We're not naming any names, so I just want to clear that as well.
I didn't sign that.
But I also just want to say, like, you know, I was fired from my position because of my tardies and absences. Mind you, my car was breaking down constantly all the time, and like I literally was like, I could not make this shit up. Like flat after flat, like construction heavy by my house. I live off of fucking Broadway in Denver. Like if you know the area, like you fucking know there's hella construction.
Too.
So I was biking to work 10 miles every day, hot as fuck outside, like 85, 95 degrees. Like it was hot as a motherfucker. Like yeah, I would come into work late sometimes, but I would stay late. I really cared about these people. Like everybody.
You paid money out of your own pocket multiple times for events.
Art supplies
for
that got
art supplies,
stolen.
Free rides places, gifting them things that you would acquire. She did so much for them.
Donations for
so
clothes,
many things.
like,
I tried to do a lot while I was there.
and it wasn't even about what I did. I would do it all again if I could, but it was about the fact that like it was this company, you know, that claimed to, you know, meet other individuals in their lives where they were at, and then, you know, I had this whole performance plan, and I was working on getting back on track because like my mental health wasn't going well. I just moved into my own place. I was going through a breakup. Like, you know, I was very honest with my life. Like, I have PTSD. Like, I go through really bouts of like mania and just like dissociation, and so I was trying to be honest with them about everything, and even trying to get accommodations. And you know, I just got my work from home day back, and then all of a sudden, like one day, like I had this very unfortunate circumstance happen where, you know, I basically, my car was taken from me for several hours by an individual that, you know, I thought I could trust with time, you know, but lessons learned moving forward. And so I, you know, didn't have my car, and like, yes, I could have called, I could have let them know, but like sometimes embarrassment is an emotion that overrules us, and when we feel embarrassed, we have different responses. Mine at that time was to fucking freeze and just dissociate and not deal with it and freak the fuck out and just sit at home and bite my nails watching the fucking window. And that's also stemmed from trauma. So that one day of missing work and then, you know, offering to come in also on a weekend, the next day I went into work 2 hours, got fired, didn't really get a chance to get explained why. I wasn't allowed to read the handbook either after I got fired.
They didn't let you read the handbook?
And then they sent me like a reason why in an email, and it was like basically my inability to stay consistent. But
they didn't let you read the handbook?
They didn't let me read the handbook.
That's
so after I got fired, I had taken a lot of stuff because there were promises to the residents of music events, because I was doing work with the community where I was opening up safe spaces for residents to find creativity, whether it be through art or music. You know, I would host craft night, and I was curating an event for the residents specifically where they could try instruments, you know, pianos, guitars, DJ board, you know, just learning production, music, all of that.
You're such a good person.
I was literally curating this whole event for this company because I was so passionate. I loved them, you know, and I understood that music sometimes was the only language that people could speak and the only way that they felt misunderstood, because that's constantly how I feel, right? And so I had this whole big promise. People were excited. Like the week before they fired me, like people were out on their patios, like playing their guitars. Like I brought my board that day. Like people were just fucking getting inspired. Like they saw this crazy purple hair young chick doing this shit, and they're like, fuck it. Like she's giving us this safe space. Let's do it. And I was so excited for this music event. And then after I left, like the ball was dropped. Like it never happened. Like they tried a karaoke night or something because I left my karaoke machine, and apparently that never worked out. And then just like things just started to dwindle. And you know, at first I was really mad. I was like, fuck, like these people just fired me, what the fuck? But then like I got fired and all the pieces from music started falling together, and like I was like, okay, I'm mad too because they fired me, and I'm not mad because I'm fired. I'm more mad because these people now aren't going to get the support that they need because I know I provided that for them. I know I did.
That's how I felt whenever I left. I know that there's still some really good people there that provide support, but I will say, like, it's very hard to feel supported as a staff member. For
like,
sure,
don't get me wrong, I think the people who work there, their heart is in the right place. You know, they want to help. But ultimately, once they realize and they're in the position, they're locked in, and they realize that they don't have the control that they want, they still somehow fall into the toxicity of the system by obeying and following the rules. Like, yeah, I was a peer and I wasn't always perfect, but I honestly also think that some of these peer support boundaries need to be pushed and reviewed and changed too. So if you're seeing this and you're a potential employer or, you know, somebody I've worked with, then I don't care. This is me being raw, honest me. Some of those boundaries need to be pushed and changed.
Them.
Like,
I felt bad for a community member and I thought that he had nobody in his life that he could lean on. I leaned an open ear to him and I talked to him all the time if he ever needed anybody, and he stopped drinking. He stopped drinking for a while and he's an alcoholic. And then things just developed, and whenever I realized it was getting as serious as it was, I realized I needed to take a step back, because this is the number one rule. That was the number one rule, unwritten rule, by the way, where I didn't sign anything. There was no written rule, and we weren't really officially like doing anything until after I quit anyway. And so literally pursued, had a relationship with, gave someone the benefit of the doubt. It didn't work out. I don't think that person deserves the worst. I don't want him to ever see this and think that I think that. It just wasn't going to work in the place that we were at. Unfortunately, like I said, addiction consumes people, and he was not ready to grow, and he was not ready to move on, and he was still grieving things that he needed help, and it wasn't the help that I could keep providing. And
honestly, it wasn't his fault either, because the place that we worked at was supposed to be this hopeful and give him the help and the support he needed to move forward into the process. And they did not do that. And they're still not doing that, and it's getting worse and worse. And people are dying, and people are giving their money to this company thinking that there's going to be a change and real outcome. And I'm not saying that everything that they do is bad. There's so much good that they do, and the peers on that team are absolutely phenomenal, and I cannot talk shit on their peer team because I worked with them. I love those people. People are what kept me at that job. Like, when I would see the bullshit and see through it all, because I'm an Astro Fairy and you can't fucking get shit past me, I would see that shit and I would be like, oh my god, but I love my peers because they get it. So much of that company just does not do what they are trying to promote, and that's the saddest thing, because she can't deny her connection and just shut off her feelings. Like, if she happens to meet someone and that's the way that she meets them, like, you can't say it's predatory, you can't say that it's this and that. Like, you can't deny feelings. They are both consenting adults.
That's all I have to say to that.
If someone's trying to help them and she's not doing any, like, how would someone like her take advantage and manipulate somebody that like is grown? Is grown, but also is experiencing unhoused. Like, I think that's kind of fucked up in a way. It's like you're basically saying, because she has more than him, you're being predatory on him because you have more than him, and that's bad intentions. That's actually you thinking the worst.
The crazy thing is I helped him out of so much stuff. There were periods of time where he literally needed an Uber places because he did not know where he was. I've had to literally take transit hours and hours and hours to go and find him and save him from taking his own life. So you know what? I was the best person for him, and I hope to God that he changes and he grows and he becomes so much better, because I know he has the potential to do so. He was not ready, and unfortunately, there's only so much that someone can handle and so much that someone can do. Still have very much love for him, still care about him, and I want what is best for him. I'm not a predator. I just care.
No.
I actually give a fuck.
But like, to say that in the first place is crazy. It's crazy.
It's insane.
It's such a bad assumption to just assume that she has these bad intentions. Like, who knows what that connection?
And the crazy thing is,
are you God?
She knows me as a person. You know me as a person. I'm a great person.
What's crazy about that whole thing to me is, like, this person always went to my boss and was like, oh, like, were having issues, but like never came to me. And I was always so straight up, like, you know, come to me. Like if there's this connection, like I'm here. And it's like there was always like this wall between us, and I always tried my hardest to like separate it. Like I tried so hard to like to be close and to be personal, and like yeah, we definitely had, you know, small deep talks, but like, you know, ultimately it was just like always this vibe that like, you know, I was judged, or it was like, you know, you're being too open, too honest, too real, and it's like that's who I am, man. And it's like, I don't know.
She made me out to she gave me the energy that like I could tell her anything, and I wasn't gonna be judged. And I almost did tell you. I almost was gonna be like, I totaled my car, I can't work here anymore. This is what's going on right now, and I want you to know because I can't keep it from you. But instead, you judged me, which is crazy. At the end of the day, everyone's gonna judge me. Because if you think about the situation, I'm not even going to speak it out loud because it's going to sound disrespectful. Everyone judges me. I get it. It's understandable. But you know what? Not everything is a red flag.
Nobody can judge anybody, though. Like, really, truly, we can't judge anybody. Like,
as human beings,
if you can't understand why someone is doing something, like, you haven't lived their life. Who are you to decide, like, and judge them? Like, I don't know. You don't understand people. Like, people do things because they feel called to it, or they, you know, that it's in their purpose to do so. You know, if they didn't do that certain thing, maybe X, Y, and Z wouldn't happen, you know? It's like
that, and I don't think that I didn't even really realize, I think at the time, what I was actually signing up for. So you're welcome for taking them off your hands. Because you guys would have had a shit show.
Well, then nobody helped him move out. Do you remember?
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I know.
It was this whole thing. And
$450 to rent a Kia.
I was a peer too who was always using my car, and like, mind you, my car is a complete shit show. Like, she's always breaking down. Check engine light's always on. She's hanging down too in the bottom. But like, I would always take residence, you know, methadone clinic, gas station, just to get smokes, because sometimes people need to sit in the car with a peer and be outside of those walls because it can feel like a cage.
It feels like a prison.
And they need to sit in a car where they're not going to be judged, and they can talk about anything. And people could talk about anything. Like, people would get in the car and be like, I fucking love fentanyl, I don't know what to do with my life. And like, I would listen to them, and I would say, hey, you don't just have to do MAT, you don't just have to do detox. What do you want to do? What do you think is the best? Do you want to reduce your use? Do you want to fucking try psychedelic mushrooms to get off this shit? Like, let's figure this shit out, because all of this other shit that people are telling you to do that you feel you've tried, you've done, and you feel like it's not working, okay, it's not working. Let's figure out what's working. I'll support you until you figure it out. But like, obviously there's something out there for you, even if it is just reducing your use. Like, you can still live your life and do drugs. Like I said, just do them safely, you know? And it's just like, this is what this company also fails to remember, is like, they promote harm reduction, right? And then they have this rule written in the company where it's like, no paraphernalia. If you have paraphernalia, you're gonna get written up and then exited, you know, once we find it enough. But then they give out free supplies, you know, free needles, free bubbles, free this, free that, which is great. I'm all for it. You know, free Narcan, which is wonderful.
But where are they supposed to use if you can't use it on site?
You can't use it on site. And then if you go and use it off site and then you have the paraphernalia in your room, you're gonna get in trouble. So where's the logic there? So then when somebody forgets, you know, it's like, your landlord's not gonna come check your fucking house every day for your paraphernalia. Like,
well, it's also to make sure nobody's dead in their unit due to neglectful staff who aren't making their daily rounds like they fucking should twice a day. No, it's once a day, but
I mean, it's just like, bottom of the line, like, people are gonna do drugs, you know, let them be safe, promote the safeness, you know, and
monitor them.
When there is danger, yeah, like, make fucking safe to use centers, like, fucking, I think Portland had them or still has them or something, but like, make it to where there's a nurse and they can be monitored, because eventually people, they use, and then when it's safe and it's monitored and there's no risk, like, honestly, when there's no risk, there's no fun in it anymore. And when there's no...
That's why they create these places.
And then once they get past that, and then they can... Or whatever they can do to move past that, and whenever they can find it in themselves and do it for themselves, that's when they're going to be like, I don't want to do drugs anymore. You know, it's something that they have to go through, whether it be like using or overdosing or jail or whatever. You know, like that person has to come too. It has to be them. But you still have to give them the support until they get to that point. Because if you don't give them that support, they don't have hope, and then they're stuck in that cycle. And we need each other. And we need to stop judging people. And I loved the company's mission, but I think that they're slowly, more like fastly, starting to dwindle more away from the mission, more conforming to the corporate like business style. And I get it, you know, you need money, you need funders, but what about the resistance, the rebellion, like, and that's where I come into play, because I'm this different magical little dude, right? You know, I'd always talk to people about, well, you know, DJs have meet and greets. I'm just gonna have fucking peer support group before my sets. And I truly want to be the DJ that, like, just changes the stigma, the scene, whatever. Like, people are gonna think I'm weird at first, but then, like, in the end, it's
she's gonna be like, rave sober, don't do drugs.
Or like, fuck a meet and greet, let's have some peer support group. What's going on in the scene? Let's talk about
fuck
it.
Fuck fentanyl, test your shit.
Free testing strips and Narcan. Here, take
it.
But also just like, you know, a different DJ, and the fact that, like, you know, encouraging people to feel like these emotions are real, this human experience is real. Like, we all don't know what we're doing, like, and no matter what you believe, should I keep hitting that? No matter what you believe in, no matter what you pray to, we are all walking each other home, wherever home is, whatever home means to you. You know, if you're still finding home, if you think you found home, we're all walking each other home. So really, I just want to be the DJ that changes the scene, because it's so bad right now, it's so negative. We lost dancing.
I know, I love dancing. I'd be like stimming. I'd be like
people look at you all fucked up there on their phones recording it. Live in the moment.
Yeah, baby, record me.
There's a camera in like 5 different angles, I promise you. Let the angles be the angles that they get. If you don't see yourself, who cares? You were there that night. You know it in your heart. Live in the moment.
Stop. Get the spoon out your nose.
Like, I understand if you want to get a couple clips in. I do it too. There's some fucking bangers that I know I have to get live, right? But don't fucking sit there the whole fucking time and just have your phone out. Live in the moment. You know, and so Astro Fairy is here to change the dynamic, change the world, accept the weirdness, embrace it all, and feel to heal. You know, peace, love, pixie dust, but ultimately feel to heal is my mission.
I love that. She's such a great person, guys.
And, you know, I try to do that through music, and I try to not judge anybody, because, like, I can't. You know, I've been a horrible person. I was a horrible person lifetimes ago in active addiction.
I've been a horrible person, too.
And who I am now, like, I am proud of her. You know, she's come a long way, but sometimes I'm like, damn, imposter syndrome. Am I really this good of a person?
I know. Literally.
It's like, sometimes people will walk on you and try to make you feel like shit, you know, about yourself. But, like, ultimately, I still know how to put up boundaries. And when I have to, that's when people don't like it. And it's like, well, I tried to give you my love, and then you try to take my light, my love, and then dim it. And I can't really have you doing that, because in the past I did that, and then it just broke me.
Yeah.
So, like, I got my spark and my light bulb back. I gotta keep shining. If you're not there, that's fine, but when you get there, let me know.
And don't put other people down because you don't see the shine in yourself. I will say, I haven't always been, like, the bigger person, but I will say that, like, I don't want to make someone feel like they're not worthy of being on this earth.
Ever. That's the worst thing I think you could ever do to someone.
Honestly, and
because life's already hard enough as is. Like, we have traumas, like, things we don't even have control over. Traumas we don't have control over. Like, one that we all went through together, COVID. Like, that was a trauma for so many people. Did any of us have control over that? Fuck no. You either had to get vaccinated, wear a mask, you couldn't go out in public, you couldn't interact. And we need humans' interactions with each other, you know, to feel loved and supported and valued and seen, because we all offer something different here. You know, we all offer a different purpose, a different virtue, energy, you know, lessons, love.
You said that at 4444.
I also am wearing a necklace that says 4444.
I have 222 tatted on me, but it looks like shit.
Angel numbers, you know? So it's just like everything is connected, and I truly believe we don't win until we all win. Like, if we're not all winning, I ain't stopping until we all winning. Because that's the goal.
Yeah, if I get famous, bro, I'm taking you all with me.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. And if, hey, you can't fucking afford a ticket to my show, like, email me. We'll fucking
watch this
figure it
video.
out.
If you watch this video, I will get you a ticket to her first big headlining show if you use this video.
Fuck that. If you watch this video and you explain to me that, like, why, you know, like, you're in a hard place, whatever, like, it is, like, you will be sitting VIP, like, at whatever show of mine you want. I don't give a fuck.
With
like,
a bottle.
If you really love music, too, especially, like, I want you there. Like, if you're just there, like, if you're just doing it because you want to get a video of me, fuck off. Honestly, fuck off. Like, don't want you there. But if you're there because you want to heal, you want to feel the music, you want to see me live, you are VIP. You literally can backstage. We'll meet and greet. Don't give a fuck. We'll have a whole group of you. We'll talk it out and, like, talk about our feelings. We'll cry. You know, we'll cry. Fuck it. You know, we'll cry and then I'll fly because I'm Astro Fairy.
I love that. Some good weed.
Fuck yeah. Some great fucking weed.
This episode is going really well. I'm so happy with how this is going. This just turning out exactly how I expected it. Abby's one of my favorite people to talk to about real life shit because she's got substance.
It's important to have, baby.
It is. It is so important to have because you can't just have a bland conversation with somebody. Like, it just doesn't work.
It's kind of like music. You can't just have a fucking bland song. You gotta have some substance so it gets the people going. But yeah, like, music is a big thing for me, definitely. You know, like, overcoming addiction, like, you know, it's crazy because, like, there was times in addiction where there's, like, these songs, you know, I would listen to, you know, to use, but, like, now listening to them, it's like, damn, like, I can see who I was, and I can, you know, then feel that, and then be like, well, now this is who I am, you know, and I can rewrite the narrative and write my own music. Like, I write hella lyrics. Like, I'm working on so much right now. Like, you know, I got so much to learn. You know, I'm not perfect like the next person, and so I'm slowly learning production. But lyrics, I have so many lyrics. I was in choir, you know, growing up, varsity choir. You know, I would sing and do talent shows. Like, I'm not, you know, scared of that shit, but I've always been, you know, hush, you're too emotional, don't do, like, you know, you're too loud, don't. But
too
now
emotional doesn't exist, baby.
But now I can make noise with, like, my music, my voice, and it's my time to speak, my time to shine, because it's, like, time to heal. And, like, I hope you know, all truly feel that, you know, when you listen to every set or song, you know, you ever hear from me. Like, I hope you feel that, you know. If you ever feel, you know, like someone in the crowd at any of my shows is, you know, making you uncomfortable, or you're experiencing, you know, any rudeness, like,
come find me.
Come find her, or
I'm your Doberman friend.
You know, there's a Doberman at my house right now. But, like, anyways,
he'll be my friend.
Find the blue hair people, the color hair people, and tell them, and they will get it right.
My hair's actually green right now. Shine your light at it. I don't think you've seen it.
Yeah, so, like, in this view, it looks like violet.
It looks very
cool,
dark.
Mine's, like, all funky
it's
purple,
green,
but
pink.
Yeah, like, I'm excited.
I was gonna plug some visuals for you. My homie Cyber, they know what's up. I'll send you their stuff after this. They're really good. They're one of my close friends.
If you are in the Denver area, I am playing a show October 30th. It is going to be Halloween themed and spooky.
What time?
So I think it's 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. Night Owl Lounge. I'll definitely not be the first person playing. I'll probably be like second or third. But, like, I don't know. I'll talk to them. But October 30th. Even if she can't be there on time, you sure as hell fucking can't.
Even if I can't be there on time, I'll still show up.
You can watch the live stream. But October 30th, Halloween set. It's gonna be super spooky, super dark. Opening with, you know, my homie and some great friends who've been just such a great part of my music journey. Like, the people who are doing this event, like, are honestly some of the best people I know, and I'm super excited that I'm on this lineup. So if you're watching this, fucking thank you. But October 30th, I'm playing. Come catch a fucking Astro Fairy Scary Fairy set.
Ooh, I got some masks.
I already got a plan. A woman with a plan and fairy wings.
I'm excited. Well, I mean, we hit 50 minutes, girl.
Hell yeah, it goes by fast. I'm feeling good though. Like, that was a good conversation. You know, we got a lot out. Like, you know, I think we went through kind of like some vicarious trauma through work, you know, like also just, you know, kind of trauma with how we were treated, you know, through that whole thing. So it was nice to be able to process that, but connect our past, you know, with our own addictions. You know, we have different, you know, addictions, but we both, you know, have very valid and useful experience and advice for others, you know, to guide. And you know, we just want to love, and I'm glad I got to do that with you. You know, we've known each other so long, and like literally our connection started because she stood up for me and like wanted to love me when I was down. You know, the black sheep, you know, love the unlovely. You know, I'm always felt like the unloved, so thank you for loving me.
Says, imperfectly beautiful.
There you go.
And that's what we are, baby. We are all imperfectly beautiful.
Yes.
All right.
Hot messes.
I think we're done for tonight. I think that's
Peace,
the end
love,
of this episode.
and fairy dust.
I'm going to be attaching all of Abby's stuff. I wasn't able to attach Aubrey's stuff in the last video just because YouTube hadn't verified my page yet. Not sure if it'll pass verification before I edit this or not, but I will be putting her stuff in the comments, if anything. So she is following my pages. I will be tagging her in the posts that I'm making on Instagram. Thank you guys for watching A Delusional View. This is your host, Lou. And thank you, Abby.
This is Astro Fairy. Also, come catch a vibe if you'd like. I go live on TikTok all the fucking time, so come catch a set. Even if you can't make it on the 30th, come catch it virtually and vibe out with your girl.
The handle is Astro Fairy. Catch her October 30th.
Peace, love, and pixie dust.